everyone. I'm Hema Raghavan, Vice President of Engineering and co-founder at Kumo. Throughout my career, I've been deeply focused on building large-scale AI systems and applying machine learning to solve complex real-world problems. In every role I've held across different industries, I keep running into the same challenge. AI struggles to work directly with relational data, the type of data that actually drives business decisions. As someone who lives and breathes this space, I found that both limiting and motivating. I knew there had to be a better way, one that didn't rely on weeks of data prep and manual feature engineering. That's what led me to start Kumo. I wanted to create a platform that makes building AI on relational data fast, accurate, and accessible. Today, I'm proud to say Kumo is already powering predictive applications at some of the world's most innovative companies. And under the hood, it's built on research I helped shape, including a recent peer-reviewed paper we co-authored with Stanford and NVIDIA on graph transformers. Our mission is personal to me, to turn the world's most important data into its most useful. And today, I'm excited to show you how we're doing that right inside Snowflake. So let me take a moment to explain what Kumo is and how that works. Kumo is a platform that helps you build predictive models directly on relational data. This is the kind of structured data your organization likely already stores in a data warehouse, such as customers, purchases, transactions, and behaviors. The data often lives across many tables with complex relationships, making it difficult to use for machine learning, without extensive prep work and engineering. Kumo makes all that process really simple. Once you're connected to Snowflake, you just define what you want to predict, like customer lifetime value or product recommendations. Kumo figures out the relationships in your data, prepares it automatically, and trains the models behind the scenes. It supports a variety of impactful use cases, including fraud detection, forecasting, ad optimization, and email timing. These applications, when deployed, can deliver significant business value. All of this happens using Snowflake with distributed training and no data movement. So instead of spending time on infrastructure and setup, teams can focus on validating ideas, shipping models faster, and actually applying them where it matters. Now let's talk about the Snowflake piece and why it's such a game changer. As a Snowflake native app, Kumo runs everything inside your Snowflake account. Your data stays where it is, and nothing moves outside your environment. This is a big shift. You get the flexibility and scale of Snowflake combined with the ability to train and run predictive models without spinning up separate infrastructure or managing external tools. It's all in one place, secure, governed, and fully integrated with your existing workflows. Because Kumo runs as a Snowpark container service, everything from training to batch predictions happens within your Snowflake instance. That means it automatically inherits your data governance policies, your security models, your access controls. So whether you're concerned about compliance, data privacy, or just keeping things simple, Kumo works with what you already have, not around it. And getting started is easy. Because Kumo is available through the Snowflake Marketplace, you can just activate it in a few clicks. It's a clean, seamless way to bring predictive modeling into your existing Snowflake workflows without creating more complexity. Kumo is your platform for building state-of-the-art AI models for relational data. We help you train highly accurate, predictive, and embedding models directly on your data with zero feature engineering. This means you can ship better, more accurate models up to 20 times faster than traditional models. Now let me walk you through how that works in action. So here's what the Snowflake Marketplace page of Kumo looks like. You would come to the Marketplace, you can download the app, and we have a free trial app that you can download, or you can actually request for the paid app. You can actually even pay for Kumo through the Snowflake Marketplace, through your Snowflake credits. When you install the app, you can set privileges. So you can set privileges for compute pools, you can set the access management, cost management, and various kinds of privileges that you might be willing to give the app. And that's what IT teams love. Moreover, IT teams love the fact that you can actually restrict what databases and what schemas, one has access to. So in this case, for example, we've restricted the app to have access to a database called Kumo and to a table called the H&M sample dataset. And this is the dataset that I will be showing you Kumo on. It's the H&M clothing store dataset, and we'll build a simple model using that. So once you launch the app, you come to Kumo. And Kumo lets you connect to the Snowflake tables using a connector. So we have a construct of a connector, and you can come, add a connector. You would again specify your warehouse, your schema, and your database with your Snowflake account identifier. And that's all the app has access to. So I've already created a connector, so we'll go directly, further into table creation. And the next thing that Kumo lets you do is to explore your data warehouse to start adding tables. Because as a data scientist who's working on the H&M dataset, you might want to be predicting churn or lifetime value of your customers. You might be wanting to know whom do you want to give discounts to. So when you want to add a table, let's say we're working on the H&M sample dataset, it's pulling up the data, and let's say I want to import the articles table. The articles table has all of the data about articles, that is the items in this H&M dataset. Kumo starts ingesting this data, and it starts inferring the column types. It starts doing some basic data analytics to understand what the schema is. It might make some recommendations to clean up your schema at this point as well. So Kumo's done the ingestion. What we prefer for you to annotate the data with is definitely your primary key. So in this case, the article ID is your primary key. For dimension tables, we also like to have a create date. You can also use Cortex, for example, to call an API and get embeddings on tables that, for example, are a detailed description of your content. So, for example, this is an item, this is a row from the table, which is for a jersey top. And instead of bringing the entire text, you can actually bring in an embedding. You can go on and add a set of tables. In this example, we have 3 tables, and I've already done the imports. And then you start creating graphs, because really what's the engine under Kumo is a graph transformer. To create a graph, all you do is select the tables you want to work with, and Kumo, through Snowflake's powerful metadata, starts inferring what are the primary key, foreign key relationships, and starts constructing the graph. So what's powerful about Kumo and Snowflake is that we want you to get to model building within a few clicks. And this is where we are at. It's been a few minutes since we started with Kumo, and we can start building a new model. Kumo has a very powerful abstraction called a predictive query language. Very intuitive for someone who's working on Snowflake. So you can specify any machine learning problem with the predict API. So on this H&M table, for example, you can say, I'm building that churn prediction model, right? So I can say predict the count of transactions, the price of transactions over the next 60 days as being greater than 0. Very intuitive, right? It says how many transactions in my data set are going to be greater than 0 over the next 60 days. And I need to fix typo. And I want to do this for all my customers. And I could even specify a complex where clause where I can say, you know what, I've done the analysis and the next 60 days price is usually subject to the average price over the last 30 days. Okay, so I do dot price over the previous 30 days is greater than 0 or something like that. So Kumo verifies this query and then actually gives you all the kinds of model parameters that it might use to tune the graph transformer under the hood. If you're a data scientist who likes to tweak their model parameters, You can go in and tune your models, tune your stopping criteria, your batch sizes, and even your graph neural network parameters. If you don't care about it, you can just choose a run mode fast and get started with training. I've trained a couple of models already, and here's an example of a model that I trained, the same problem, and it took me about 50 minutes to finish training. And I got my output. It gives me a reasonable accuracy, and Kumo gives you all of the metrics that a standard data scientist would expect from any machine learning platform. What Kumo also does, which is rare for a deep learning-based machine learning platform, is it gives you explainability. It can actually tell you that, for this problem, the count of transactions is actually the most predictive feature. And this is super useful because for a data scientist, the feature importance matching their intuition for what is predictive actually tells them about the quality of the model and the quality of the data going into that model. With all of this, once you've picked your favorite model, and you can try 10, 20, 50, or even hundreds. We have customers who've done hundreds of predictive queries within a couple of days to find the best and most accurate model. All you have to do is, within, again, a few clicks, start making predictions and productionize it. So this is what Kumo does very well, which is to make data science or machine learning super easy. And in Snowflake, all that happens within the perimeter of your Snowflake compute and storage.